Hi everyone, my name is Miss Shelley and I'm coming to you today to teach you some yoga. Now, some of you may have done yoga before and you may think it's super fun and you like it a lot. Some of you may never have done yoga and it's new to you and you're a little nervous about it, and that's okay. And some of you might have tried yoga before and maybe it wasn't quite the right thing for you, or maybe it wasn't quite the right type of yoga, but you're gonna give it a second chance. And that's great too. So wherever you are today, that's right where you should be. I'm just really grateful that we get to practice yoga together. And I'm also really grateful that you chose to give it a try today. I think that's a really great thing. Now, you might have been hearing about mindfulness or self-care a lot. Maybe at school you've heard the word, or somewhere else, and you might have a good idea of what that is, or you might have no idea what that is. And either of those is just fine. I like to use an example of something physical to explain self-care. So if I was out going for a run or a hike and I fell and I sprained my ankle, or maybe I am sick and I just can't seem to get rid of a cold, I would rest. I would rest to make my body heal, make my ankle feel better, or I would eat some good fruits and vegetables, some vitamins to maybe help myself feel a little less like I had a cold. And that's a great example of self-care that I think everyone can understand. Something's wrong physically and you work to heal and take care of it and feel better. Now, mindfulness can come in a lot of different ways. It can be something as simple as just taking a nice, deep, slow breath to calm yourself down if you're feeling worked up. It could be writing in a journal, or literally just scratching down a couple things that you're grateful for every day. And one of my favorites, it could even be just getting out in nature. Maybe the sunshine makes you feel better, or just going outside and feeling the breeze, and like you can take a nice big deep breath. That can be a great way to practice some self-care too. And yoga falls into that category. Some people call it mindfulness. Some people do it just strictly for exercise, and other people do it for self-care and taking care of their whole mind and body as one. What's really cool about yoga is that it allows us to do a lot of different things. It can help us relax. If we're feeling really stressed out, it can help us relax. It can actually, on the flip side, give us energy if we just kind of feel tired and like we don't want to participate in the day. We can do different poses and different movements that help us get some energy back. It can help our minds focus. So if we have a monkey brain and just so many thoughts racing through our head and we can't seem to sit down and do our schoolwork, or even sit down and, I don't know, watch a TV show without thinking about 10 different things, it can help you focus. And yoga can also help you with just feeling overall calm. So one of the cool things is in yoga, we use our breath and we use the poses that we do, or the movements of our body. And that helps us to get a clearer mind and a calmer body. And that helps us to really see all the benefits of yoga. So what I want us to start with is, I thought we'd start with a grounding or centering breath. A lot of times in yoga, you do a breathing exercise just to help you get in the mindset of, I'm going to do yoga. And it can be something really extravagant. It can be a long breathing exercise, or it can be something really simple. And today I thought we'd start with something really simple. So what I want you to do is take one hand and put it on your chest, and one hand and put it on your belly. And we're going to do what's called belly breathing. And all belly breathing is it means that a lot of times when we breathe just in our chest. If we're stressed out, that's how we breathe. If we're sometimes trying to think too much about breathing, because breathing isn't something you always have to think about. If you're thinking about it, you start breathing from your chest. And in yoga, we like to breathe all the way down into our bellies. So if you take a deep breath in, and you can feel it all the way into your belly. And if you look here, you might be able to see, if you go, you can actually see my hand move on my belly. And that way you know you're breathing deeply enough. So let's try a few in and out. You can breathe in and out of your nose, or in your nose and out of your mouth, whatever feels most comfortable. So let's give that a try. Great work. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if you're comfortable, try closing your eyes and we'll take a few breaths that way together. So breathe in with your eyes shut. Breathe out. Great work. Breathe in. Breathe out. And once more, we'll take a nice deep, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Breathe in. And breathe out. Great job. You may even feel your heartbeat slowing down and you just feel a little bit calmer and kind of ready to start your practice. That's one of the really, really awesome things I think about yoga is just breathing alone can help you get into sort of a different mindset. Okay, so now that we've all learned a little bit about what yoga is, or got a review if we already knew, and we've taken a centering breath, we're ready to start yoga. But I want to give you a few guidelines first. So yoga should never hurt. If you feel a twinge in your shoulder or your leg, your knee hurts, that's not a good pose. We never want it to hurt. You want it to feel sort of stretchy and flexy, but not ouch. So if you feel that pain in your shoulder, the pain in your knee, I want you to come out of the pose and take a relaxing pose instead. So the options for relaxing pose, you can just sit crisscross applesauce like I am right now. You could also do child's pose. That's a very calming pose to do, and it helps you rest your body if it feels comfortable. I'll just show you what that looks like. So you'd sit with your knees together, and then we just bend over, and you can put your hands right behind you. And that is a great pose to rest in. You also, if something just really hurt or you just are starting to feel stressful, yoga shouldn't feel stressful, you can just go ahead and lay down on your mat. If you have a mat, if you don't have a mat and you're practicing on carpet or a towel, just lay down there. You don't need a mat to practice yoga. So we remember that. We never want it to hurt. I also want you to know that your poses might not look exactly like my poses, and that makes sense. Everyone's body is different. It's a different shape. People have shorter arms or longer arms, shorter legs or longer legs. So your poses will not look exactly like mine. Even for me, from day to day, my poses don't always look the same. Sometimes I have tight calf muscles, so my legs might not want to extend as much. And that's something that I know, and I just respect that. And I do whatever feels good in my body versus pushing it and getting something to hurt. The same if you're balancing and you start to feel wobbly, put your leg down to keep yourself balanced. Or if you're in a twist and all of a sudden something hurts, just bring the twist back. Maybe don't go quite as deep, and you'll still get the benefit, but you're making sure that you're doing what's right for your body. And the last guideline I have is that we need to have fun, which I think yoga is fun. I hope you have fun too, but we're gonna just try and have a lot of fun with it today. So now that we know all that, I'm guessing everyone's been doing a lot of extra screen time lately. Maybe you've been doing it for your schoolwork. Maybe you've had extra screen time just talking to your friends, getting to see your friends and family. So we're gonna do a few stretches for our body. It'll warm up our muscles, but it'll also really help us with easing the muscles that start to get tight, like our neck and our shoulders, when we've been staring at screens a lot. So you can find a comfortable seat. You can sit on your knees or just crisscross applesauce. And we're gonna start with some basic rainbow stretches. So we're gonna take this hand and put it down. You can really go on either side. I'm using my left hand, but it's up to you. And then we breathe in and raise this arm. And then as we exhale, stretch it over to the side. Any amount that's comfortable. You'll feel a stretch right here along the side of your body. Take a breath there. Then we'll breathe in and come back to center. Good work. And now we'll go to the other side. Whichever side you did before, switch sides. So put your hand down, breathe in, and then breathe out. Great work. Let's try that once more to each side. Now we kind of know what we're doing, right? So put our hand down and breathe in. And stretch over as we breathe out. Good work. Breathe in to come back. And then place this hand on this side. Breathe in. And then breathe out as you stretch. That was a great job. I hope that felt good for everybody. That's a good way to warm up. Now what we're going to try is we are going to inhale our shoulders up to our ears and then exhale them as we breathe out. This one's kind of fun. So breathe in. See how high you can reach them and then breathe out. Good work. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Kind of helps release any stress you might be feeling or any tightness in your shoulders. One more time. Breathe in. And let it all out. Great work. Now we're going to do neck circles. So what I want you to do is I want you to imagine you have a dot of paint or maybe a marker, and you put that dot right on your nose. And it can be any color you want. I really like purple, so I might pick a shimmery purple color today. And the reason we're putting a dot there is we're going to draw circles, and we want to imagine that we see that circle of paint or marker going around in the sky. It's a good visual. So we're going to start with little circles. Get that dot on your nose, and then we're going to go a little circle. Let your nose guide your neck circles. And then we'll do a medium circle, and then we'll do a larger circle. That feels good. And maybe you want to rock back and forth a little. If you ever find a kink, you can always rock back and forth. Good work. And now we're going to do the same thing in the other direction, but we'll start big and we'll get back to small. So we're going to go big circle in the other direction, medium circle in the other direction, and a small circle in the other direction. Great work, everybody. Now we're going to stretch your neck a little more. I want you to tilt your head to one side. You can put your hand gently kind of near your ear. Don't push, just gently, and that helps your neck stretch. And then if you want to be a little bit more, you can put this hand out and point your fingers towards the sky. And if that feels like too much, just leave that hand on the ground. Either one is a great stretch. Okay, and then we'll just do it to the other side. Gently place your hand up there. And again, hand on the ground is fine, or fingers pointing towards the sky. Great work. Okay, so now we're going to start stretching our body a little more. And like we talked about before, that your poses might look like mine, you might see me shifting around a little bit because doing it on a screen to get to you is a little different than when we do it in person. So I'll try my best that you can see everything I'm doing. So right now we're going to sit, it's kind of like crisscross applesauce, but bring one leg in and then the other leg in front of it. And then we're going to breathe in. And then we're going to hinge at our hips and breathe out and come any amount towards the floor. Your hands might touch the floor. You might come all the way under your forearms. They might touch the floor. Or you might kind of be right here. Whatever feels comfortable for your body, just so you feel a stretch in your back and down by your hips. That's what works best for you today. We'll take a few breaths here. And then we'll slide back up. And then we're just going to switch legs. So bring the other leg in and this leg in front. And again, we'll breathe up. And then hinge at our hips and stretch. We'll take a few breaths here. And then slowly roll up. Great work. And now I think we'll just do a twist because that is what feels right to me. Hopefully it feels right to you too. So we take one hand, we bring it over to our opposite knee, we raise this hand up in the sky, and then just bring it behind us and do a gentle twist. And again, any amount. You could be twisting here, you could be twisting further. You just don't want it to hurt. You want it to be comfortable, but feel the stretch. And we'll come back in. Great work. Now the same to the other side. Put the opposite hand on the opposite knee, raise that arm up and behind you. Great work. Okay, so now I think we've stretched out our bodies. We've learned a little bit about yoga. I think we should maybe play a quick little movement game. So you might have been having to do some extra chores since we've all been home a lot more lately. And I hope you've been finding a way to make them fun. Maybe you crank up the music if you have to do the dishes and have kind of a dance party. Maybe when you're sorting laundry, I know I do this with my kids sometimes, and we'll set the laundry bins up and kind of toss it in and make it more like basketball, something that's a little more fun than just chores all the time. But we are going to try a chore in yoga. We're going to do the washing machine game, but I promise it's a lot more fun than laundry at home. So for the washing machine game, we are going to stand. You can always do this sitting as well and just move your arms, but we take our arms out to the side and we're going to pretend we're a washing machine. So we're going to go back and forth and back and forth. Now, if you've ever opened your washing machine and watched it go, It starts out kind of slowly, so make sure you have space and you're going back and forth and back and forth, and then your washing machine picks up speed. And this is going to look super goofy. If anyone's watching you, they might think it's funny, and it's okay to laugh at yourself too. But go really, really fast and just have fun with it. Let your arms go up and down and spread out. Warm up your whole body. And then the washing machine starts to slow back down until it comes to a stop. Great work. Now, we are totally soaked. If we were at home, we would just throw all our clothes in the dryer. But when we're in yoga, we dry off by tapping our clothes off. And that's actually another great way to warm up. So we are going to take our hands and we're going to start by tapping gently on our head. So tap, 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 tap lightly on your head. You can tap lightly on your cheeks, lightly on your shoulders, a little more on your belly. Go ahead and make some sounds. And then we're going to go all the way down both of our legs. Make sure we tap, 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 tap. Get everything all dry. And great. We are completely dry. Great work doing the washing machine game. Now, if you looked at the title of this class, you might have seen that it says Imagination Vacation. And I know right now a lot of us have been stuck at home for quite a while, and we might be wishing we could go somewhere. What I want you to think about is, where is somewhere that you've either been and you love, or you wish that you could go? You maybe have never been there. It could be somewhere like skiing in the Alps, or going to Colorado skiing. It could be going to an ocean you've never been. Maybe you've been to the shore here, but you've never gotten to go to California, so you would like to go see what their ocean is. Wherever you'd like to go, just think about that for a minute in your mind. And I also want you to think about what makes that place special to you. Is it that you just like seeing the sun being warm on your body and on your face when you can lay out on the beach? Is it that you really like snow and the thrill of skiing down a mountain, so that's why you like those types of vacations? Maybe you like to go kayaking, so you like to have fun rivers or oceans to do that in. I know for me, one of the places that I have been to, but I also love and would go back to any day of the week, is the Big Island of Hawaii. So on the Big Island, there's just all kinds of cool things to see, and I thought I would take you there through a yoga journey. So are you willing to try that together? Okay, let's all stand up. And now the first thing we need to do, actually, I'm going to scooch up. I want to adjust this just so you guys can see every move I'm doing now that we're doing more standing. Great. So the first thing we have to do is we have to fly there. Hawaii is pretty far from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into airplane pose. Now, airplane pose, I'll turn to the side so you can see it. We plant one leg on the ground, we lift the other leg out behind us, and we put our arms out. This is Warrior 3 pose. And if you're an airplane, you can move it around and move it around. Great work. You know what? I think we're almost there, but I think that we need to switch legs. Sometimes you have to stop and make a pit stop so the plane can refuel, right? You have a layover, so let's do that. Let's switch legs. So whichever leg you were balanced on first, just switch, pull up, and balance on that leg. We're flying, and this is the exciting part. Our airplane has landed. So for landing, we're gonna spread our legs wide, and we're gonna come down into a squat. Now, if this is too much for you, you can always, you see my heels can lift up, and you can just do froggy legs, or you can go into a comfortable seat, whichever is most comfortable for you today. So now we've landed. We're gonna get off the plane, and what's the first thing you wanna do when you get off a plane? You need to stretch, because you were in those tiny seats. So we're gonna stretch up to the sky, look up. In Hawaii, it's often sunny, so we wanna feel the sun beating down on us. Great work. And then we decide that we're gonna go to the beach. That makes a lot of sense, right? So we're gonna get to the beach, and we'll start in mountain pose, because in Hawaii, there's mountains. We're gonna look up at the mountains, and as we see them, we realize that we see some really, really tall peaks. In Hawaii, on the Big Island, there's Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, and they were made from volcanoes. So let's all do volcano pose, a big, strong pose. I'll scooch back so you can see. Volcano pose together. And then, what comes out of a volcano when it erupts? If it goes and it erupts, we get lava. So let's all do wiggly arms and be lava. And come all the way down. And this is called forward fold in yoga. And then we're gonna slowly, see how slowly you can do it, slowly roll up. And we're gonna walk along the beach some more. Walking along the beach. And one of the first things I notice are the beautiful palm trees blowing in the breeze. So we're gonna do tree pose together. Now tree pose you can do with your foot on the ground here. You can put your foot on your shin, or you can bring your foot all the way up to your thigh. I just don't want you to put your foot right here, because if it's on your knee, you're off balance, and you can also hurt your knee. So let's try that together. I guess I'll start with thigh today, or calf today. And then you bring your branches up as you're stable, and let's blow them in the breeze like a palm tree. Oh, that's wonderful work. Okay, and to be fair in yoga, we always try to balance out both sides when we can. So let's plant our other leg on the ground, and we'll be a different palm tree. And I'll bring my leg up to my thigh so you can see the other pose this time. And we wave our hands in the breeze. Palm trees are super cool because they have long roots, but they're really shallow, and that helps them root to the ground but not tip over when they're those crazy tropical storms. All right, so now look up in those trees. What do you see? Do you remember if you've seen Moana maybe, what is something that's really important to their island? It's a coconut, right? So a coconut in yoga looks sort of like a rock or a big nut, right? So we are going to go into child's pose to be a coconut. And you can bring your hands right behind you, and you look just like a little coconut. Great work. Okay, and then we're walking along, and I also see some sea turtles. Turtle pose in yoga looks like this. We put our hands down here and bring our legs here, and we look sort of like a little turtle. Great work. And then we see an outrigger canoe. That's one of those canoes that sort of has the extra bar that keeps it balanced. So let's go into boat pose and row our canoe out. So put your legs up. You can put them all the way up if you know boat like that, or just keep them like this. They're gonna row and row and row and row and row. And then, oh my goodness, I think we'd like to go for a swim. So let's stand up. Be careful, canoes can be wobbly. Stand up, bring your arms up like a dive, and dive into the water. And then we'll lift up halfway. I'll turn this way so you can see. You want to have a flat back, as flat as you can when you lift up. And we're going to peek over the water while we're floating. What do we see out there? Oh goodness, we see surfers. Let's do surfer pose. So for surfer pose, we're going to do a warrior series. So we bring our hands, bring one leg forward and one leg behind you, and keep your hips pointed forward and bring your hands up. This is warrior one. And then we turn our back foot out a little more and bring your hands this way, warrior or surfer two. And then the surfers are doing some fancy tricks. They're gonna do reverse warrior. And then we're gonna try that airplane pose again, but with our hands out to the front, warrior three. Great work, that's a tough one. Okay, let's switch to the other side. So bring your other leg forward, put your other leg behind you, bend at the knee, face your hips forward, and do surfer one, or warrior one. Scoot your leg out, and stretch a little more, warrior or surfer two. Oh, they're doing their fancy tricks, reverse surfer, and then surfer three. Great job, everybody. So then, what else do we see in the water? I see dolphins. Can you see them? Let's do dolphin pose. Now, if you know downward dog, dolphin pose is a lot like that, but we're on our forearms. So bring your forearms to the ground, and then curl your toes under, and then we push up. So we look like downward dog, but it's just a little bit different. And then I look out back to the beach, and I see a puppy. Now, puppy pose, we bring our knees back down, push them out, and put our forearms still down and push back. And we bring our head and heart towards the mat. They probably won't touch, but you just melt them down towards them. That gives you a really great stretch. And with those puppies, I also see some big dogs. So let's all push backwards and up into downward dog as well. Great work, everybody. Okay, we'll come back down. And finally, I think that we see people playing with those dogs and a beach ball. So let's do some big beach ball stretches. We're gonna push back up to standing, raise those hands above us, kind of like volcano pose, pretend you're holding a giant beach ball. We're gonna stretch to one side. We're gonna stretch to the other side. And then we're gonna lower ourselves back to the ground to a nice, comfortable seat. Great work, everybody. We can pretend our mat is our beach towel at this point, and we're gonna try a little exercise that might have made your heart pump a little too. We were doing a lot of different poses. We're gonna do a calming breathing exercise, and this one's great because you can use this one in school. You can use it before bed if you just want to calm down. Anytime that you want, you can even use it in a line. If you didn't want to stand in the line at the grocery store with your parents, you could use this and it would help you calm down instead of just getting frustrated of standing around. So what we do is we sit comfortable. So crisscross applesauce. We bring our hands out and we're going to touch our thumb to each of our fingers as we say the words, peace begins with me. Now you can put your hands down on your knees, rest them there and do it, or you can keep them up, whatever works best for you. So we breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we go, peace begins with me. And if you're comfortable, feel free to close your eyes. Peace begins with me. And then once more, peace begins with me. Great work, everyone. And like I said, you can use that one anytime you need a quick little calm down. You can even do it without saying the words and just do this. And no one will even know what you're doing, but it helps your body and your mind calm down a little. So now we are going to go on our imagination journey while we're resting. And I'm going to get you into resting pose, and then you'll hear me sit up because I want to make sure you can hear me while I'm guiding you on that meditation. But you can just stay laying and comfortably relaxing until I tell you to get up. So what we're gonna do is I want you all to hug your knees into your chest, roll backwards, and then we're gonna put our soles of our feet together and bring them down. And we're in what's called reclining cobbler's pose or butterfly pose. And we're gonna go right back to that simple breath from earlier. So put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. We'll just take in and out 3 simple breaths. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And once more. Inhale. And exhale. Great work. Now I want everyone to bring their legs out gently, fully stretch them out. Bring your arms to your side. And we're just gonna lay there. And I'm gonna take you on a little guided relaxation exercise. So while we stretch out our legs fully, we're gonna imagine that our beach towel has magically turned into a pool float. And we gently got pushed out to the ocean, and we're floating on the waves, and we're feeling that warm water supporting us. It might be lapping over our legs a little and keeping us warm. And we're gonna let go that focus on our breathing. So we were focused before. Now we're just gonna let our breathing go back to normal. And instead we're gonna listen to the sounds of the sea. Maybe we hear a playful bird overhead, or maybe we hear some dolphins chattering, or maybe it's just the waves rolling back and forth. And we feel the rays of the sun shining down on us. Maybe we're getting more towards sunset, so they're warm and keeping us nice and cozy feeling. And then our magical pool float washes onto a desert island. And on this deserted island, we see whatever is most peaceful and magical to us. We walk along the beach. We see some lovely, luscious green, giant jungle leaves and some of those beautiful tropical flowers. And we push through those leaves and we come upon something that's really special to us. Maybe it's a deserted part of the beach with a little horseshoe shape where we can splash and play in the shallow water or just rest on the beach. Maybe it's a lovely coral reef and there's some snorkel gear that got left out for you. And you put on the snorkel gear and you get to see all the colorful coral and all the beautiful fish while you swim and just relax into the waves. Maybe you came across a meadow and it's a beautiful meadow with glistening grass and beautiful tropical flowers. Maybe there's a hammock in the middle of it and you can relax in that and swing back and forth. And you just want to feel as comfortable as you can, like you are just melting into the water or the ground, just like you are laying on your mat and sort of relaxing all your muscles and body into that. So now that you've gotten to as relaxed of a state as you can, as you're ready, I want you to slowly bring some feeling and some movement back to your fingers and toes. Maybe you wiggle them, maybe you scrunch into fists and scrunch up your toes and then release them. Something to just sort of wake up your body a little. And then when you're ready, roll over to one side and pillow your hands under your head and take a few deep breaths. Bring back some focus to your breath. So just breathe in and out and in and out. Wonderful. And then as you're ready, push up to a seated position and you can join me. Great work, everyone. I didn't do a super long guided meditation today because that might be new for some of you, but I hope that helped everyone feel relaxed, let your body really calm down. You did some awesome work today with all the different yoga poses, and it's really important to give our bodies a little bit of time to relax and just fully go into our mats and let our muscles just release. So now, I just want to ask you to do a quick check-in and see how you feel. I'm hoping you feel relaxed. I'm hoping you feel good. Maybe you feel a little stronger. Maybe that gave you some energy. And if you do, that's wonderful. But if you don't, I also want you to be compassionate with yourself and understand that that's okay too. We call it yoga practice, not yoga perfect. So every time we get together and meet, we are trying to do our best and we are trying to be present and enjoy it. And we just accept what happens and know that that's what was meant to happen today. So the way we end yoga is with a Sanskrit word. It's an ancient word, namaste. And it generally translates to the light in me sees the light in you. I also really love the translation, the beauty in me sees the beauty in you, because you're all beautiful inside and out. And lately, I've been liking the awesome in me sees the awesome in you, because that kind of covers everything about you. That's just makes you a super cool, unique person. So we bring our hands together at our heart. We'll take a deep breath in. And then we'll bow and say, Namaste. The awesome in me sees the awesome in you. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you had a great experience, and I hope to see you again soon.